Oh, no more noises. And we're off. Wow, so good. This is Thursday, October 12th, 2023 AD, 9:01 a.m. and a half, U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. Gonna have a fun show. Maybe, right? Yesterday I told you about the day before's coffee from Spoiler Alert that I read toward the end of the show on Tuesday. And I think I'll cover it for you guys, just so that you guys are aware, you know? I don't know. Who cares? It's a war. What's new? People being evil to one another. It's been going on since the Bible and before. Bible documented some horrific things happening. And horrific things are happening. It's true. And hide your kids from those social media apps. Don't give them a phone. But if you did already, block their social media. That's what CNN suggests. Or they're saying that parents are being advised. Maybe I'll get to that Ariana Grande stuff. You guys want me to cover that? I don't know. Maybe some throwback things, some Hake chat stuff, some stuff, things that people are saying over on what? X, Twitter, about the whole mess. Some of you guys like to talk about that. Most of the calls have been about Israel, and I haven't even brought it up as really a point, something to talk about. And some other news, you know, one caught my eye, for example, okay? What OCD is and what it isn't, according to the experts. It's a CNN headline from the morning updates. Yeah, all of a sudden, CNN cares about the kids, exactly. Wrinkle hands being bong. What's up to the Facebook crew? I'm doing fine. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, says CNN, also known as OCD, isn't simply a personality trait of people who are organized. Read what it's like living with the condition. Maybe I'll read to you guys that mess. Wikipedia, one of my favorite sources, Wikipedia. I know, Hake is a liberal, just like you musicians. All of you musicians are liberals. And Hake is too, apparently, because I read Wikipedia. Wikipedia is promoting this thing that makes me want to spit called She Said, hashtag She Said. Ridiculous. So hopefully I'll get to that too. Why do I say hopefully? Some of you guys probably don't even want me to. But anyway, guys, all that and your calls, if you'd like to call in, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. I'm giving extra S for the snake pit. Because the snake pit is busy, aren't they? Shout out to the snake pit. Without the snake pit, how many viewers would Hake even have? I don't even know, but that's okay. I'm wearing my I Love Boomers t-shirt. Get yours, the hakereport.creator-spring.com. And hopefully it exists. Somehow, Chris from Arizona recounted having a tote bag, her I Love Boomers tote bag at the mall or something, and a young whippersnapper was wearing an OK Boomer t-shirt, and she called out on him. She called him out and said, hey, and then she pointed to this I Love Boomers tote bag, which is oddly not available currently on the Hake Report Teespring store, and made him laugh. Nice. Unity. Love. United around what's right. Right? I love that shirt built in gray. Cool. got it in gray, says being enlightened till I rise. Right on, man. Thank you for the support. That's cool. He's a supporter on Rumble. That's cool. Oh, my goodness. I opened up the wrong X feed. Okay. So, I teased about this Tuesday coffee from Spoiler Alert, his tip on Israel and Netanyahu, whom I like, but Netanyahu, I don't know, maybe he does some shady things. Everybody does shady things sometimes. And he shares some information. Israel, this is from Middle East Eye Net, okay? That's the source. Israel-Saudi Arabia. Israel-Saudi Arabia. Netanyahu promotes normalization, whatever that is, with a new map erasing Palestine, or Palestine. In Texas is how it's pronounced. The illustration showed by the Israeli Prime Minister at the UN, United Nations. Wow, thank you, Hassan. He's on it. See this map that he's holding up? Israel in 1948. And he also shared an Al Jazeera op-ed piece. Netanyahu is drawing the U.S. into war with Iran. I remember Netanyahu talking about, Iran is building their nuclear weapons, and we need to crack down on that. We don't want Iran having nuclear weapons. They want to destroy Israel. The Israeli Prime Minister's persistent obsession, writes this writer, with the Islamic Republic, which is another word for Iran, may finally drag the U.S. into another disastrous regional war. So speculates this man, who is what is that thing called? Foreign policy type of a guy? Looks like he might be a liberal, but, sometimes the liberals are right about some stuff, sometimes. So, the illustration shown by the Israeli Prime Minister at the United Nations, the evil United Nations, I will add, who are sometimes a little iffy on their Israel stance, right? They're kind of iffy. The UN is anti-white. They call the United States racist, by the way. Includes the occupied West Bank and Gaza as part of Israel. What are they part of if it's not part of Israel? Mauricio Lapchik tweeted. Mauricio Lapchik. Check out Netanyahu's map. The Israeli annexation of the OPT is not, whatever that is, right? Occupied Palestinian territory, maybe? Is not merely a plan, it is a current reality. There will never be peace with apartheid, he says. Yeah, and a lot of people, right and left, call Israel an apartheid state. And if you were listening to the Jesse Lee Peterson show when Hake was reading the super chats, JLP was like, yeah, apartheid is good. We should have that in America. Not this fake, false diversity strength stuff. That's wrong. It's wrong for Israel. It's wrong for America. But some people say that, a lot of them say diversity for thee and not for me. Or apartheid for nationalism for me and not for thee. Which there is a big double standard against the whites. Only the whites. Terrible. No nationalism for the whites, for the white countries. And the quote tweeted from N. Tarnopolsky from this Mauricio Lapchik says, boom, explosion emoji, hashtag boom. The map brandished like a weapon from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at UNGA, global whatever, includes all Palestinian territories, including Gaza, inside of a greater land of Israel. And you see if you're looking at the picture, you see the blue part. That blue part is Israel. And then, or at least the Israel as the new Middle East. The new Middle East, spoiler alert, pointed out that Netanyahu had. Provocative for some people who don't want Israel to expand into that area and take it over. Netanyahu drawing the U.S. into war with Iran. Well, I, for one, kind of hope that doesn't happen, right? We don't need another war. October 9th, 2023, Marwan Bishara was the Al Jazeera op-ed writer. He's a senior political analyst at Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera. It's like a Muslim mainstream media outlet, right? Is that what it is? And they also put out liberal AJ Plus viral videos. AJ Plus. That's Al. If you're on social media, AJ Plus is liberal, anti-white, anti-Christian, I guess pro sort of Muslim and pro LGBT, pro Black Lives Matter mumbo jumbo stuff. But anyway, this Marwan Bishara may have nothing to do with that stuff. An author who writes extensively on global politics, widely regarded as a leading authority on U.S. foreign policy, the Middle East, and international strategic affairs. Previously, professor of international relations at American University of Paris. So he may have a point. I don't know. By the way, this is quite interesting to me, somewhat. Netanyahu, Putin, Trump, Kushner, Erdogan, Flynn. Those 5 names. What do you think of when you think of those 5 names? Or is that 6 names? That's 6 names. Hake can't count. Go to the next one, Hassan. Not the next one, but let me show you which one. It has to do with Netanyahu, Putin, number 1. Yeah. Okay. So go to Netanyahu, Putin. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so this is from Noga Tarnopolsky on X, who's talking about this situation. This is, boom, what is that? Explosion emoji. This is a gal writing on Twitter. This is how Netanyahu ran for re-election. And it has a trifold. You guys know what a trifold is, you designers? I think it's a trifold. Oh, no, that's not a trifold. That is a whole big banner on the side of a building. Wow. And it has it's basically a campaign sign, I guess, according to her. This is how Netanyahu ran for re-election as prime minister, you know? Netanyahu's been prime minister since like the 90s. Then he was out, and then he was in, then he was maybe out again, and then he was recently put in again. And it has a photograph of Netanyahu shaking hands with Vladimir Putin. What? Is this in Israel? Is Putin a popular figure in Israel? I wonder. Like he is somewhat among the right-wingers in America. I wonder. You know, right-wingers somewhat like Putin. Okay, so Netanyahu, Putin number 2. She was quote tweeting this. And there's a video, but I'm not going to play the video. He's probably speaking Russian or something, you know, because Putin is Russian. Max Sedin. I can't read. Max Sedin tweeted the other day, the 10th of October, Putin finally makes his first comments on the Israel-Palestine war. He says, it's, quote, a clear example of the failure of U.S. policy in the Middle East. Ooh, he's bashing U.S. policy in the Middle East for not, quote, taking the core interests of the Palestinian people into account, unquote, and not working to create an independent Palestinian state. And here he is talking with, I don't know who that is, because I don't know my so-called world leaders. But he's, you know, standing next to somebody with, maybe he has a translation earpiece in his ear. I think he's a world leader. Maybe he's a media figure. Wow. So he wants a 2-state solution. That's a clip purportedly from Kremlin.ru. Kremlin.Russia. All right. Whatever. That's what Putin thinks. Maybe you're right about that. I don't know. There's a whole lot of left-wingers and right-wingers who are sympathetic to the situation, the plight of those Palestinians who don't quite have a distinct country, but they have their land that they want to make a country, but they have to deal with Israel because they're like neighbors, but they're not very neighborly with each other, apparently. They fight. They don't really get along. There's a lot of jealousy and bitterness and revenge. Terrible. So this is what caught my interest about this. Putin, this is from Aiden of Crimea, the number 3 that you were showing. Yeah. Putin hyphen, Netanyahu hyphen, Kushner hyphen, Trump hyphen, Putin. Whoa. And he did another one. So he's kind of implying that those people are connected and linked. And he's kind of acting like it starts and ends with Putin, this Aiden of Crimea, which sounds like a Ukraine sympathizer. Shout out to the Ukraine sympathizers. We have at least one Ukraine sympathizer in the chat. Aiden of Crimea. So what's next? What's this? Truth. Number 4. Truth replied, one forever seeking, replied on X. Except Biden is president. And he is also funding and arming Netanyahu. Uh-oh. Is that why Zelensky seems panicky? Asks Truth, responding to Aiden of Crimea, who's alleging this Netanyahu, Putin, Trump, Kushner, Putin thing. And it's interesting because now the Pentagon, I heard from CNN, multiple officials are nervous. They're getting nervous that they can't fund both or send extra ammunition, their extra ammunition stockpile to both Ukraine and to Israel. Think about that. The evil Pentagon is trying to give war welfare to Ukraine, and now they want to give war welfare to Israel. And now they want to do funding both of those wars. Yikes. So anyway, go back to this thing. Aiden of Crimea responds, Biden is not getting good advice on Netanyahu, Putin, Trump, Kushner, Flynn, Erdogan at all. What? Now he's lumping Netanyahu, Putin, Trump. I like those 3. I personally like those 3. Some of you guys don't, I know. Kushner, which is Jared Kushner, Trump's Jewish son-in-law, who's a liberal. I'm not as much of a fan of him. I don't know, but I hear negative things about him. Jared Kushner. You know, Ivanka Trump Kushner. Ivanka Kushner's husband. Ugh. But Flynn, General Flynn, we like him. Don't we like him, General Flynn? I don't think that he's even relevant to this situation because he was the NSA leader, General Michael Flynn, 3-star general, nationalist, American nationalist, gotten rid of real quick. Trump asked him to leave because he allegedly didn't tell Pence something or hid something from Pence and some conversation that he had with some Russian official or something. And so Flynn got thrown under the bus. Some might argue by Trump, but Flynn has been loyal to Trump, and Trump hasn't been too bad against Flynn. Trump hasn't said anything bad about Flynn, General Flynn. But Flynn is irrelevant. Like, he's not even in the government. What are you talking about? But anyway, Erdogan. Do you like Erdogan? I don't know if I like Erdogan or not. Are we supposed to like Erdogan, or are we supposed to be against him? Does it even matter? Who are we? Does it even matter? But Erdogan is the Turkish prime minister or something. Kind of he rules with a heavy hand, I heard. He put the smack down with like some helicopters and things, I think. Years back, I heard. I don't know much about him, but he was meeting with our other favorite person, not the CEO, the owner of X, Elon Musk. Erdogan was. He's like, we saw it on American Anchor Baby. Where's your wife? Where's the mother? When Elon Musk brought his little baby, his cute little baby boy, to meet the Turkish prime minister. Erdogan, what's that have to do with anything? I don't know. But Aiden of Crimea continues. What seems like a long-term ally is not always what it seems on the outside. Take Hungary or Georgia, for example. The underworld has their own agenda. And Truth responds, Biden has an entire neocon staff. Speaking English, Biden has an entire neocon staff who will always do the bidding of Netanyahu, says Truth. I am old enough to remember Biden telling Netanyahu, I believe just last year, that he was the world's greatest Zionist. Biden said that? Or Trump said that? Did Biden say that or Trump? I don't know. But I just know that Biden and Obama were not fans of Netanyahu, nor Netanyahu fans of Biden and Obama, I don't think. And I remember Bibi Netanyahu knowing this in sort of a panic, I argue, wanting to get along with this new administration, congratulating, some say prematurely, Sleepy Joe Biden on his victory, which it was on the up and up in 2020. Remember that? Netanyahu's all, congratulations, Joe Biden, you're the new president and not Trump anymore. I don't know. You hold that against Netanyahu? He's thinking about his country. I don't hold that against Netanyahu. So, anyway, moving on from that. Go into the other folder, Hassan. Stop me if this is getting old, guys. But a last little bit. Squeezing out the last little bit. Do I even have it? I don't see it. I don't have it. Okay, never mind on that part. Well, maybe I'll get it for you, Hassan. I don't think I have it, though. Okay. I saw a tweet from Malik Obama. And apparently, I'm confused. Where's my Malik tweets? Are they in the Israel? Oh. Okay. Hold on. Hassan, I'm going to drag these things into that. Go back into the Israel folder. I'm going to drag these into there. Terrible. Okay, so Malik Obama. You guys remember Malik Obama? Malik Obama is the brother to Barack Obama, half-brother, I think. The older brother, the eldest, some might say. I could be wrong on that. You can quote me, but just know that I may be wrong. Malik Obama posted this. Malik Obama is a Trump supporter. There he is. And we like him, don't we? I like him. Malik Obama is a Muslim, a black, a Kenyan, and fun on Twitter. Charles C. Johnson, Chuck C. Johnson, this independent journalist who's like much maligned, much banned. Haven't heard much from him lately. I don't know where he is. Got News is him, Chuck Johnson. Paid him for an interview, paid Malik Obama for an interview, because Malik Obama doesn't do interviews unless he's paid. He was interviewed by Sean Hannity as a pro-Trump Obama. Literally. You know Barack Obama, the mixed black president, not a Christian. Well, he claims to be a Christian, but he's a lame-o. Malik Obama is a Muslim, but he's pro-Trump. I like him. He's funny. Well, look at this tweet. This came out yesterday. Yesterday noonish. I stand with Palestine, he says. Whoa. Anybody press 2, because press 1 if you stand with Israel. Press 2 if you stand with Palestine. Press 3 if you wish them well. And press 4 if you wish them both ill. And press 5 if you don't care about anything. Malik Obama, I stand with Palestine. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, kids, ladies, gentlemen. I neglected to censor this. I neglected to censor this. My bag. Anyway, when 100x Leverage responded, can you call your brother and ask him to pull the strings on Biden to stop the escalation and free the innocent people? Praying open hands emoji. And Malik Obama responds, and cover your eyes, kids. I'm going to censor it with my words. I'm seeing threes, wish both them well. That's cool. Right on. I'm seeing one. He stands with Israel. Some ones. Any twos? There's a two. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Truth. Nice to see you, man. Hey. Wow. He's two. He stands with Palestine. One's fours. Fours wish them both ill, right? And 5 don't know, don't care, don't love anybody. Nice. Okay. All right. So Malik Obama responds to this person asking Malik to call Barack Hussein Obama, the former so-called president, the worst president we've ever had. Am I wrong, or is he the worst president we've ever had? There's a lot of bad presidents. I don't communicate with a fake blank, a snake. A-word, snake. Fake A-word, snake. President Barack Obama, parentheses. Fake a snake. Whoa. Harsh language. So he's not on speaking terms with his half-brother, Barack Hussein Obama. Whoa. So he's not on speaking terms with him. And then with this other person, this normie, one presser. If he were in the Hake chat, maybe he is. Victor, real Victor Smith. Is he in the Hake chat? He probably pressed 1. No, 1 is Israel, 2 is Palestine. Israel number 1. 2 is Palestine. If you support one or the other. Just unfollowed you, says normie Israel supporter Victor Smith. I'm speculating that he's an Israel supporter. Malik Obama says, was waiting for that. Yeah, what do you expect, honestly? He's a Muslim. Malik Obama is a Muslim. And he loves Trump. That's cool. He's an old school guy. Not a fan of this lame-o, fake snake Obama, President Barack Obama. And yet he supports with Palestine. There's a lot of people who seem relatively well-meaning who support Palestine. No, not Victor Smith. So, anyway, I just thought that was an interesting side note. Shout out to Malik Obama. Malik Obama has a great Twitter account. Regardless of whether you support him standing with Palestine, cut him some slack. I mean, let people support what they want to support. It doesn't matter. It's not like he's supporting the evil that Hamas is doing necessarily. I don't know. And what if he is? He's a Muslim. Muslims, they're not Christian. So another quick side note. Do I have the Jake Shields tweet? I don't see it. Man. Okay. I think I do have it. I found it. Okay. I'm going to copy paste this screenshot into the folder, Hassan. It's 2023-10-10. Okay. You'll see it. It's this Jake Shields tweet that was deleted. Jake Shields, he's a fighter guy. He posted and then deleted, I think, on the 8th of October, quite a few days ago, when Israel was trying to figure out whose land to steal. Whoa. A few prominent Jews were encouraging them to take Madagascar. You see it in the folder there? It's going to be in the Israel-Netanyahu thing, 2023-10-10. And then it has 1745, blah, blah, blah. Whoa, some prominent Jews were encouraging the Israel people to take Madagascar. And he says this would have led to far less or fewer problems than having them take Palestine and Jerusalem, a Muslim holy land, he means. Whoa. Unfortunately, they have to learn to coexist where they are, but it's hard to see any solution. Israel won't give any land back, and Palestine won't be satisfied while living in camps, he wrote. But he deleted this tweet. But it got a lot of attention, or a decent amount of attention. 740,000 views at the point that I saw it, but it was deleted. Whose land to steal? To take over. Interesting. So that's his take. I somewhat have heard this before. But what do you think? Palestine and Jerusalem. Jerusalem is also, like, the Jewish people would all definitely be interested in that, right? Isn't that like Bible Times place? Of course they want that. Anyway. Stealing. Let me get to a call, guys. RDR is in Ohio on the line. What's up, Art? What's up? How you doing?
Man, I'm all right. How you doing, Hake?
Doing fine, thank you.
First thing first, you said asked earlier, you like, should I stop talking about this or whatnot? Is this boring? And I'm thinking in the back of my head, no, it ain't. You one of a very few that talk about these deep topics and actually interact with your audience to where you're able to get feedback or whatnot. And you're doing a great service to America and the handful of people that do watch your show to where they getting both perspectives.
True.
But they mainly getting a logical male alpha perspective to where somebody, ain't hearing this all day. When they do hear it, if this God wants them to wake up or whatnot, hear some of this stuff and it hits them over the head, that they will understand and get a lot of what you're talking about, some of your callers are talking about. Not all, but most. Just like you had a white dude that called, I think it was Monday, or it might have been last week. I think he called like after I was talking about the Civil War stuff or the Civil War stuff. He called and he was giving some good information about the past history, which he was saying some stuff that I definitely agree with. So it's a great learning channel, man. I want to thank you so much, man, or whatnot, for keeping your foot on that gas.
Well, right on, man. Appreciate that.
Man, you definitely gonna change my life. I've told you this and told you that. I'll tell you again, man. You definitely gonna help me out a lot with a lot of things or whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much on that.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Yes, you already know. And I want to ask you, did you hear about? It was some Palestine dude, or I think it was Palestine. One of them dudes or whatnot. I don't know if it was Israel or Palestine, but they was calling for the Muslims to do attacks or whatnot across the world.
I heard that too. Was that on the Jesse Lee Peterson show that I heard that? Or was that from, I might have heard that kind of offline or else on the Jesse Lee Peterson show about calling for just attacking Jews, right, at random by Muslims who are sympathizing with like the Hamas leader or something. I don't know if it's true. I wouldn't be surprised if it were true, but I don't know. I did hear about that, and that's pretty wild. It's if people go through with that, that's the wrong way to deal with it for sure.
Well, let the games begin and whatnot. I mean, this is something that already been predicted and being said as far as with that border and whatnot. And
yeah, we've been letting people in who are not even Latinos. We're not even letting just Latin people come in. We're letting like Muslim and African people come in from south of the border. You're right about that.
Everybody, and it just don't make no sense, man. Just like they the liberals, they scream, let's help everybody, and then the truth is they don't even like these people that they saying that they want to help. You see what I'm saying?
They don't. They don't have any love. These people who are feeling sorry for the so-called immigrants, migrants.
And I'm a conservative or whatnot, and I don't wish no bad on them, but I ain't saying I just don't like them. It's just like, I'm just sticking to the point that I can like you, but I can like you in your own land and at your own house. I don't need you to be in my house with your legs kicked up on my table. I don't have no problem with you. I just want you to respect my wishes and stop taking advantage of me or whatnot. But even with those attacks or whatnot, remember when I was saying that, it's just awfully funny that Russia ain't made no attacks on American soil or whatnot. It's almost like they waiting on something before they do anything. You see, it almost looks like they ain't planning.
Who's waiting for something before
Russia and China? Like they trying to soft attack America without destroying everything or whatnot.
Interesting.
I'm thinking in my head, how would they do a soft attack? Well, you let a small invasion come over into America and you let them do your small work.
Yeah, that's kind of what people accuse Jewish people of doing, is that like Jewish people and the whites are like the two capable minorities on earth. Like Jewish people are like 3% of the world or less, and then white people are like 10% or less, I've heard. And then like people accuse the Jewish people of undermining the whites, and I think there's a lot of truth to it, especially the ones who are just believe in push the racism thing, for example, and that is so destructive. You should wish your enemy well, but people don't realize that. You should wish your enemy well, and then you're not going to spread this bitterness and revenge and snakiness. You'll be better protected by being a person of love rather than ill will and accusation and suspicion and undermining. It's like when America's doing well, when Trump had America doing well financially, people's hearts were still evil, but the outward crime and rot wasn't so on the rise.
Yeah. He held it at bay or whatnot.
Yeah,
he definitely did, because he kept people busy or whatnot, to where idle time ain't the devil's time. You know what I mean? Kept them occupied. And I just want to say to the white Americans or in the Russians or whatnot, the attack is on the white people. Yeah, even with you know what I mean.
It's on anything. It's on anything good, and it's also on. The devils are against each other too. Like nobody's safe, really. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, I just say the attack is on the white people or whatnot, because y'all are letting and helping everybody with this globalist agenda.
True.
With this one world globalist agenda, and it's like it ain't gonna do nothing but hurt y'all or whatnot. And if it wasn't broken, don't try to fix it or whatnot. Everything was good, before they start all this trying to move and, we feel bad for these people. Let these people come in and let's help these people. And it ain't did nothing but cause a big old mess. But another thing is, what do you think is if the police and the government couldn't do nothing with Antifa and BLM, the BLM riots and stuff like that, and even couldn't even do nothing with the January 6th, with alleged what they call a riot, but I don't really believe it was no riot. When you had a couple little sprung off BLM Antifa characters in the crowd that was causing chaos. The real conservatives wasn't really doing nothing but just peacefully marching,
For the most part, you're right about that. Exceptions to the rule.
Exceptions to the rule. You might have a couple idiot boxers, but for the most part, conservatives, we weren't going up there to tear up anything. We were just in numbers, just long story short. Yeah. If they couldn't stop that, what do you think that you're going to be able to do if all these foreigners that you letting come in over here get the robbing, looting, and doing terrorist attack over here in America?
Say that again.
I'm
If the establishment and the liberals couldn't handle January 6th, and they let Black Lives Matter Antifa, as you call them, run wild, what do they think they're going to be able to do with the lawless people whom they're allowing into the country? That's a good point. That's nothing. They're not going to do anything about it. It's going to be chaos. They're going to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And you're hearing that. You're hearing that a little bit already. You're hearing these Democrat mayors of Chicago and L.A. Well, I mean, New York. The New York mayor saying, oh, boy, it's rough over here. So they are starting to realize that they let it go too out of control. They like a little chaos and crime and crisis so they can swoop in and pretend to solve a problem that they helped create. But this is too big of a crisis that they're creating.
Yeah. And they only want to boo-hoo and cry, and they want all the American people to feel bad when it affects one of their family members. Then they got it all up thrown over the news. Oh, Governor Ron, his kid was just killed by a immigrant or whatnot from over the border or whatnot that came across the border, and we want to send out our condolences or what. Then they want to talk and try to fix stuff or whatnot, and it's just like they don't understand that can happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It ain't too far fetched for that to affect their family or somebody in their family member. The mess that they're causing and letting happen over here to the everyday hardworking American citizen. Like it's in Art's backyard, but what happens when it lands dead in your backyard or whatnot?
Right.
And it affects your family tragically.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And
what you're talking about reminds me of, I saw this tweet from, who's the guy from VDare? There's a guy from VDare who tweeted, I think, or maybe it was another guy, maybe an old school alt-right founding father, who said, he quote tweeted this video of these blacks in Chicago, I think, who were doing this community meeting and protesting, bunch of blacks, liberal blacks, protesting, I think they're liberals, protesting against the illegal invasion occupying their school basketball gym or basketball camp place, so that the black high school boys didn't get to do their basketball thing because these illegals these migrants, so-called, are being housed in their place. And these blacks are protesting because it's now affecting them themselves. Before, you hardly hear about blacks complaining about immigrants, but you do. I think if you're in the black community, you do hear them complaining about immigrants, but you don't hear them protesting or going or voting non-Democrat. Very rarely, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden it is affecting the liberals, if you will, who brought it on themselves. What a shame.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for something. I'm not hoping, and I'm not wishing evil on nobody, but I'm just sitting back waiting for it to affect one of these politicians or a couple or three of these politicians in not all at once, but in like over a month or a year point of time, to where you like, dang, this happened to this politician or whatnot, or this and this happened to this politician, to where it's really affecting them, to where they realize it, because it's going to end up happening or whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really had to say or whatnot.
I appreciate
They couldn't stop January 6th or whatnot. They couldn't
They
stop
wanted it to happen.
Or whatnot. And that's what I'm saying. They did, but this, I feel like that was something that it was like a tester. Let's see what happens if we do this or whatnot, and see how it plays out or whatnot. And this is way bigger than this. All this stuff with the illegal immigrants, this is way bigger than that. You talking about a whole bunch, way more numbers of people than that. So we already know that the police and what they're gonna try to do is they're all gonna try to set it on the police or whatnot to try to fix it or whatnot and try to help. But it's gonna overwhelm them. They ain't gonna be able to do nothing.
Yeah, that's true, man. And then they'll blame the cops, or they'll blame, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Biden putting the squeeze on these companies with regulations and taxes and all this mess. And then and then these companies pass those extra costs down to the consumer. And then Biden's like, oh no, you're doing junk fees. Well, of course they're doing junk fees because the government's making it harder to do business. And these businesses aren't really doing Christian capitalism. So they're not going to be totally honest anyway. So, of course, like, costs are going to be passed down to the consumers. But the government's posing as if they care about the people, and they don't. They're undermining them and spoiling them and pretending to be their protector when they're not. They're undermining.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So so check this out. What do you think if you already got radicals over here in the black community or whatnot, or radicals in the white community?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you think that the people that you letting out of these into America that's coming out of these countries that they already criminals? I just seen something the other day where they said America ain't even able to even keep track of a lot of these people's criminal records that they have in these other countries and whatnot. So what do you think is going to happen when you letting criminals that's already crazy and deranged come over here and be around a whole bunch of other deranged people that was already in America?
Well, maybe they'll shake what they'll do is they're going to shake the jar and see if they fight. That's what they're going to do.
That's
Just
exactly
for entertainment. It'll be big business for the mainstream media and the social media, because all these viral videos of crazy race wars and La Raza wars. I heard from Spoiler Alert that it's Dia de la Raza, Day of the ethnicity of Mexicanity, or whatever it is. So they're celebrating their fake worldly physical identity, and they have no spiritual identity. They don't love their fathers or God, so they hate everybody. And they're going to fight. That's a good point, man. What a mess.
And then this is something you just said. You said they want to sit back, shake the door, and sit back and watch. And that's crazy you said that, because that's all the news is doing. They done lost so many viewers or whatnot. So
war is big business for the media. Good point.
Yes, it is, to get some of their viewers back or whatnot, or get their views up to keep their paycheck coming in, because they don't turn a lot of people away from them or whatnot. But but that's all I had to say. Thank you. Keep up the good work. I'll catch you later.
Appreciate you, Art. Take care.
Catch you. Yep.
Artie Art from Ohio. You guys want to see a throwback pic of Hake? Do I have this in the? I don't know if I put this in the folder. Ugh. Maybe I did. In the other folder, maybe? Let's see. Hake, 2A protest, Glendale, March 2013. Look at me, 10 years ago, baby Hake. Baby, 31 and a half years old. Going almost 32, 31 and 3/4 years old. With my NRA hat and my pilot aviator sunglasses, holding a sign about some probably tragedies. And I'm being interviewed by Univision. Is that Univision? Or as American Anchor Baby rightly pronounces it, Univision? Univision. He didn't say it all Spanish like that. But look at me on the sidewalk protesting. I have a cool, huh? I'm being interviewed. Channel 34. It's clean shaven relatively. I wasn't lazy, so I didn't shave my beard. I shaved my beard back then. Nice, huh? Nice throwback. And I looked like I did some exercise back then too, maybe. Well, I don't know if I was doing I think I was out of shape at that point. But not so fat. But cool, huh? That's me protesting against them taking down the Glendale gun show. The Armenian Democrats, demon rats, many of them are Armenians in Glendale. Some Armenians are relatively conservative, Christian, but many of them call themselves Christian, but they vote Democrat. You do the math. Doesn't make sense to me. And there's others in Glendale who are not Armenian, but they took away the gun show. I'm like, I'm going to boycott Glendale. And I haven't been back since for the most part. Maybe once or twice. Glendale. Liberals shut down Glendale, Burbank. It's like east, north of LA. Nice. So that's a nice throwback for you. Is that John Doyle? Got your six. Mildly skinny fat. Government issue Hake. John Doyle. Yeah, John Doyle is heck off commie. He's been interviewed by JLP and the Fallen State. At least the Fallen State. Mary Rice Hopkins on his iPod. I bought an iPod in 2008 for $40 from my buddy. That's where I got all my Chinese music. But I gave it back to him because it stopped working. He was saying, I disavow. No, I didn't start disavowing until YouTube started cracking the whip on us. You slaves. Baby Hake. Yeah, 30-something years old. Looks like a school shooter. No, I don't. Stop it. Stop it. Why are you older? Oh, Baby Hake, so handsome. Anyway, I just thought I would share that with you. Is there anything else in the other folder? Oh, yeah. Hillary MAGA camp. I got this. This was a tip from Big Bump. Henny5008 posted this on his IG. He might have gotten it from somebody else. Hillary Clinton has us all in a MAGA camp. You know, us MAGA cult members. We do the bidding from our shot caller, base Donald J. Trump, our greatest president. And there's a helicopter flying over us. It's a drawing by apparently a political cartoonist of Hillary wearing a Nazi commie suit. Because she's more of a globo homo. She's a glotzy commie. Globalist, communist, overseeing us. Would you let her be your martinet, your boss? At least she lets us wear our MAGA caps, make America great again. I better get one so I can fit in with the crowd in the MAGA asylum. Re-edumomification. To deprogram us formally from our cult membership. Isn't that amusing? Isn't that amusing? Was you protesting masculinity? No, I was protesting the tearing down of the thing. So that's Hillary Clinton. Because she is a hater. She wants us to follow them. Oh. So this is news to me. Blacks cost one. So I disavow this, but this is a tweet from JD's Coke habit. JD's bad habit. It has to do with John Daly. I don't know who John Daly is, and I don't know this person, and I disavow him preemptively. But he's a blue check mark on Twitter, which doesn't mean anything, thankfully. Shout out to Elon Musk for making the blue check not mean anything. I like that. I like it. He writes, and I don't know if this is true, but this is what he says. The average black American costs the United States $750,000 over their lifetime. The average black. Okay, not the enterprising, taking care of himself, not relying on the government black, but the just on average. In $750,000 is the cost to the United States over their lifetime in support via government programs. Government programs are like 60-something% of the U.S. Budget. 60-something% government programs. Social programs, social spending. 60s, like 6%, like 2/3 is last I saw from Jay from San Diego. And he says blacks commit 50% of all theft. I don't know if that's true. It might be true. I haven't looked at the stats. 50% of all murders, 60% in some years. 38% of all of fraud, despite making up only 13% of the population. Reparations are owed to whites, he says, and he's quote tweeting Cori Bush, who is a black female congressman, homeless, single mother, formerly homeless, Cori Bush, Cori, who posted on IG, and this is on Twitter, I mean. And this is from the 4th of July, okay? But this is his pinned tweet. I saw a tweet from him, an X post from him. She posted, the Declaration of Independence, I don't know how she sounds, was written by enslavers, like that's a bad thing, right? And didn't recognize black people as human. Well, I don't know if that's true. I don't think that it made a decision on whether blacks are human or not. I think most whites, even at that time, knew that black people were human beings, okay? And she capitalized the B in the word black. Today is a great day to demand reparations now, or no. Her tweet gets cut off. Her quote tweeted post gets cut off. So I don't know exactly what she was saying. And that's crazy. That's wild about how much they cost to the people. So look at this graph. Blacks cost graph and Hispanics and whites. This graph here, Hassan. Blacks cost graph. Look at this. Okay, so per capita lifetime budgetary impact of whites, blacks, and Hispanics in America, okay? So the average white is a net positive to the finances of America. $220,805 is what they contribute to America through probably taxes and other stuff. So whites are contributing to America. $220,000, almost $250,000 each person on average, right? Average. Some more, some are probably a drain on society, right? Of course. Like those suiciders, probably a drain. I don't know, if suicide is probably a lot of paperwork, right? It's not good. And overdoses, it's probably a drain. Being a criminal is probably somewhat of a drain. Hispanics, net, average cost, budgetary impact, $588,000, more than $500,000 over their lifetime, over the course of their lifetime. And blacks, again, $751,000 cost. Wow, that's like $750,000 that they cost over their lifetime on average. I don't know where this comes from. Well, I mean, I see the sources. The sources, usgovernmentspending.com, 2014 numbers, U.S. government revenue, pie chart, 2014. So this is from like 10 years ago, roughly, give or take. CCW data, whatever that is, statisticbrain.com, welfare statistics, kff.org. This is how they come up with this graph, allegedly. Again, I don't know if it's true or not, but you know how I talk about people being a drain on society? And maybe we should bring back, at least legalize, get rid of the minimum wage and legalize some, at least like temporary like slavery or whatever. The freedom to own and be a slave, right? To own slaves, be a slave. Because, like, think of the bums, the homeless bums. They're just dragging down society. That's an opportunity cost. A bum on the street in front of your business, if you don't run them off, you don't have the sense to run them off, you're cutting down on people wanting to go to your business because the bum is in the way. So like, I'm going home. It's happened. I personally have gone home after seeing a bum in front of this place that I like to visit sometimes. Census.gov, World Almanac 2016, Social Security recipients, Simon & Schuster. Crazy, huh? So, wow, I didn't know that. I did not know that. So, no wonder JLP is right. We need more white babies. But the ones who are going to be like Christian, or at least functioning atheists, enterprising, not dumb, lame liberals, not on opioids, but moral, marrying, having the babies, working, not the mother working though, staying home, so you don't have that fake free childcare stuff. And whites build, blacks, as JLP says, destroy. I'm hiding behind what JLP says for the sake of my channel. I disavow it, of course. But isn't that so true? Man, we need to get our productivity up. Hake listeners, Hake viewers, snake pit. Get out the snake pit and get some work done. Raise people right. Spread love. Wild. Oh, and then people were replying to this guy's tweet, calling him ignorant. Oh, read a book. Whites are 38% of welfare recipients. Blacks barely 39% of welfare recipients. You're ignorant. And so this guy posted this blacks understanding per capita meme. Just last real quick thing. We're past the top of the hour. I disavow this, but it's made me chuckle. Blacks understanding per capita. You know, you can't expect them to understand. Like, you run into a random black, you have a much higher percentage of them committing a crime against you than when you run into an average white or even an average Hispanic. Yeah, the black woman wearing a big old afro like it's a big old boulder, pushing it up a hill, trying to understand per capita. Black gal, not wearing enough clothing, typical. And just kidding around. And pushing up a hill barefoot, that's a lot of work. And shout out to the black gals with afros. Beautiful. Well, this gal, I don't know, she's mildly attractive. I mean, that hair's ridiculous. But anyway, she's a cartoon. I'm at work right now. So-called working, says Carver531. Yeah, I disavow jobs that you guys get to just watch Hake and be in the live chat all day. I mean, unless you're able to do, like, you just have to physically be there and attend to whatever may come up, then you're a body there. Hey, that's fine. But it's a cartoon, Hake. I know. Let's take a break, shall we? Enjoy OK Mind. Somebody in Hake's comment section said, I listened to a song from Hake from a long time ago, from OK, and I finally found it. It was called Mind. Yeah, Marty Anderson. This track is called Mind. I hope it's good. I think it is. You musical Philistines. This is from the 2005, I guess, album, High Road, from Absolutely Kosher Records. Enjoy, and I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. Hang tight. You can call in. I'll get to your super chats and hopefully some more fun stuff. All right? See you soon.
Nothing that's in your way. It's useless, 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 useless. Nothing that's in your way.
So good. I like the message. Gotta see your own. Free your own mind. See your own mind. Well, thank you, Marty Anderson, for the beautiful music, and thank you to the chat for enjoying that. I appreciate it. Somebody said Billy Corgan. What did you guys say? Somebody said something funny. ADL approves music. Yeah, because it's from Absolutely Kosher. Billy Corgan on Quaaludes asks Point Fire. Pretty funny. Not music, says Maina. Maina, not Menna. Anchor baby. Maina. You have to say it Australian. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Maina? Right on. Guys, thank you again. Spoiler alert calls Marty Anderson an ethnic Jew, which he might be. I mean, it's from Absolutely Kosher Records, Berkeley area. I don't know where Marty Anderson is or was from. Don't know if he's alive, but I think he had Crohn's, but he had some other issue because Crohn's people sound normal, but he doesn't sound normal. It sounded like my grandma. But I liked how he said hallelujah. That means praise the Lord, right? But I don't think he's a Christian. But anyway, guys, some super chats before I get back to calls. You can call in 888-77-JESSE. We're on Jesse Lee Peterson's network. Me, Wow Hassan, Joel Friday TV, American Anchor Baby. Over on Buy Me a Coffee, I believe, there was a super chat that came in. Carver bought a coffee. Hey, Hake, after seeing Hassan's pilot, I started thinking, pilot episode. He had a Wow Hassan, Walking on Water Hassan. I didn't catch the entire thing. I was busy on my podcast. I heard mixed reviews. Very divisive or divisive. Very edgy. Started thinking about other potential Bond Network TV shows. One, Joel 5-0. A loose cannon cop is forced to go undercover and infiltrate a gang of breakdancers to untangle a web of intrigue and catch a vicious killer before the big dance competition. Wow. 2, Hake High. A straight-laced English teacher takes a new job at a disorderly urban high school where the students and staff have given up all hope of education, and proper grammar. After meeting with a waitress at the local Little Caesars, Hake is determined to save the school. 3, Anchor Baby's list. Nick and his brother own a small single-plane airline in Wisconsin. Things are going well until President Haley sparks World War III. Nikki Haley. Bird Brain. As his Canadians are rounded up into a FEMA death camps, Nick is able to use his plane to smuggle a small number of them north to safety, but faces difficult choices deciding whom to save, all while trying not to tear his business and family apart. Which show gets the Hake green light? I'm going to go with Joel 5-0. Loose cannon cop. Joel saying stuff that I wouldn't say. And rejected by the LAPD for being an independent thinker and being honest about the ladies. And he loves the ladies more than the LAPD. So he has to infiltrate the gang of breakdancers. Dancing is entertaining, even though all dancers are liberals. My close and personal friend Jib Jab bought a coffee. Do you still indulge in Little Caesars Pizzeria? You hardly talk about it, says Jib Jab. Yeah, well, to be fair, I hardly ever talked about it, to be honest, except for that viral moment when this one gal is like, what food do you like? What's your favorite food? And I'm like, pizza, Little Caesars. And it was like, oh, brother. And that was a classic moment. And I just had to say that once. And then sometimes I'll talk about Little Caesars, but I don't talk a lot about it. I did talk about their satanic commercial, Little Caesars. They're like eating pizza all the time. That's not good. You're not supposed to eat pizza all the time. It's only for special occasion. And I suppose you're supposed to grow out of it. Because fair warning to the to the elderly. And shout out to the elderly. And the people who are health compromised. Sometimes that stuff is not good for you. It can kill you. I heard the story of a lady who was older, quite old, and lived a fairly healthful life, but ate pasta one night, and she died in her sleep that evening. So you don't necessarily want to eat unhealthful stuff. You are supposed to grow out of it. So just a heads up. Just be aware, Don't get too in your head about it. Truck driver bought a coffee. Senor James, or James, have you seen this film, Kingdom of Heaven? ? I have. It shows how maybe I haven't. Oh, no, I saw Kingdom of God. Is the Kingdom of God the one from South America? Do you know, Hassan?
Oh, no, that one's Children of God, I think.
Oh, Children of God.
Oh, no, I don't know.
City of God.
City of God.
Yeah. So, no, I don't think I have seen. It's a 2002 drama crime film in Rio de Janeiro in the 70s. Okay, so yeah, no, I don't think I have seen Kingdom of Heaven. Wow, how'd I go from Kingdom of Heaven to Children of God? It shows how the Abrahamic religions have been slaughtering each other forever. You mean Jewish people, Christian people, and Muslim people? Things never change. Shout out to the snake pit. Thank you, truck driver. You know what? We can probably turn up the thermostat 1 degree so the AC shuts off. My feet are getting cold. So we can turn up the AC, especially because you guys probably get cold out there. Those of you guys out there outside the studio, turn off the AC or turn it up 1 degree. But wow, thank you, truck driver. I've heard things like that. And, people even within the religion hate and hurt one another and turn on one another. Even in the New Testament, people were talking about addressing the division in the church. In the letters to the churches from like Paul, the Apostle Paul, you shouldn't be divided. You shouldn't be bickering and backbiting and gossiping and slandering and division in the church. You're one body. But no, apparently not. Not all who say, Lord, Lord, truly, Jesus never knew you, many of you, right? So it's a warning. Gregatron donated on Streamlabs. Hake, are you saying that David Meese is a liberal too? What the? Yeah. All musicians, I say, are liberals, including David Meese, who is or at least when he was at the height of his career, a very emotional Christian singer. Also, shout out to Art from Ohio. Did y'all know he has his own YouTube channel? Y'all need to move on over, he says. Wow, cool. Shout out to Lord Bibi-42 as well. Thank you, Gregatron. That's cool. Right on, man. Artie, Art too smart. And by the way, speaking of Big Bump and liberals, musicians, Big Bump sent a tip saying, where am I? All musicians are liberals. He didn't say all. I said all. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay? Mead, you're a musician, right? Some of you others, musicians, liberals. Just use it as a tool. Music, okay? And don't identify with it. Don't identify with it. Don't be like, I'm a musician. Get all puffed up about it. All into yourself. All on your high horse and be like bristling when Hake says all musicians are liberals. If you're not identifying with the musician identity and pride, then you're not going to, then you will, it'll brush off, oh, Hake just talking. Or Hake telling the truth. Either way, you're not affected. Nice, huh? Right on with this false pride in the pride of life. That's cool. Thank you, Big Bump. Appreciate that. That's some wisdom shared by Big Bump, my co-host sometimes. he was on Monday. On well, which fake holiday was Monday? Oh no, it was a real holiday, but it's also a fake holiday. It was Christopher Columbus, real holiday, holy day, and then Indigenous people, unholy day. Indigenous Peoples Day. And shout out to the American Indians and the un-American Indians too. We love you. I'm never mind. William in California is on the line. William, thank you for calling and holding. What's up?
Get your hand out my pocket. Get your hand out my pocket.
I disavow that line.
What's going on?
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Rest
hey,
in
man,
peace,
shout out to
Malcolm
Artie
X.
Art, Too Smart.
Yeah.
Artie Art, Too Smart, doing it well.
Nice.
Lord Bibi, 42, doing it well. All of them, Blazing Hogs, all the boys, Red Dirt Farm. Shout out to all these guys.
Snake Pit.
Shout out to you too, James.
Thank you.
And Big Bump. Big Bump is very wise.
Yeah.
Very wise. I'm listening to you the other night because I didn't get to listen that morning, and you had me fall out the bed. You said I took African American studies.
I did.
And you did. And you said I listened to, Bobby Brown and play his jazz, and I think you were talking about James Brown.
No, I was talking about my teacher. I think his name was Bobby Brown. Oh no, you know what?
Okay.
No, I have to correct the record. It wasn't Brown. It was Bobby Bradford, Mr. Bradford.
Okay.
He was
I was
my-
laughing. I thought you were trolling, saying I seen James Brown play jazz, which he didn't play jazz, but
Okay.
you crack me up when you do that. You do that, you'd be like, "What's his name? Kobe Bryant?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
So that was kind of funny. But on a serious note, a couple of weeks ago, when you wanted me to talk to one of your callers, and I said no, it kind of threw me off because I was trying to actually share something with you that just came back to me. It was about Thomas Sowell.
Okay.
I didn't get to talk about that. You know, he was on Fox on a special 2 weeks ago.
Oh, right on.
And it's getting kind of worrisome because he looks like he's changing because he is around 90.
Oh,
And
wow.
this guy's he's like our national treasure. You know, he's an American economist, like the best.
Yeah.
And this guy was actually asked the $1 million question. He says, "Do you think blacks are doing better today than they did prior to 65? And he took his time and answered it and said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Because you were just talking about social programs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's an old saying, if you want to help a black man, don't.
Yeah, exactly. And that's good advice because that's the best thing for somebody not to help them. Then they,
'Cause I didn't come from that. I didn't see any of that.
Parents,
Grandparents, none of that.
they don't need the help. There's God within them helps them when they start working and get on the right track.
I'll never forget when my grandfather told me I did not know how to vote, and he told me, I said, "What's the difference?" You know, I mean, a lot of blacks are Democrats, and he said, "Look here, when I was coming up, blacks were not Democrats, not any blacks." This was his words. I'm quoting him. Not any blacks that were worth anything.
Yeah.
So,
Excuse me. Yeah.
it's kind of something to take a look at. You know, the Israeli situation over here. I see people celebrating these little babies getting amputated. You know, I think that's kind of
Is that a true story?
horrible.
Is that accurate? Like, is that confirmed? I heard that it wasn't
They-
independently confirmed by the United States.
But those babies, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
This is a nasty situation that a lot of younger people don't understand.
Right.
And, prior to, they're pretty tough, these guys, the Israelis, because, what happened to them in Germany, they're vowing not to ever let that happen again. Israel is just pretty much on their own out there.
Oh,
themselves.
in terms of the surrounding countries who are not necessarily their friends, huh?
Lawnmowers.
Okay.
Lawnmowers, go ahead. Say again.
In terms of the surrounding countries, not necessarily their friends.
They're by themselves, man. They're by themselves. And everybody, I do have a cousin that's married to one of them, and most, some of them are Christian. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do. You know, I think that whole never again thing can be a bad distraction that makes them think of that too frequently and to identify with it too much.
Yeah. I guess
It's a
that's their
setup.
mindset.
Yeah.
I can understand it.
And then they undermine themselves by alienating. For example, they're alienating whites and Christians many times, who would be their best friends, and instead they're alienating them and accusing them, and that's not a good thing.
I kind of find it kind of rich that how many 4,000 rockets were launched from the Gaza over there, and then 4 days later they're blaming Israel for the rockets flying into Israel. I just find that kind of rich, but can actually guarantee it that they're about to go in there and tear the Gaza up, and maybe not give it back this time.
Oh.
Because that's not recognized as a country.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to have some immigration problems. I don't know if Israel, do they even have immigration problems?
They apparently did, because a lot of those guys, the Hamas people, I heard, according to a report that I read, which may or may not be true, infiltrated into different areas inside of the place, and so they were kind of like undercover,
right?
And then they playing like they were nice
caught them
Arabs.
with their pants down a little bit.
Yeah. So I don't know. They might, but they don't have nearly the immigration problem that the normal white countries have. Like
that we would have.
Yeah.
Right. But they probably do. Maybe I think they had. Didn't they have some problems with the Hebrew Israelites? Don't they got some of them out there?
Maybe.
Yeah, they got some of them out there. They look like they got, but they're the kind of Israelites that. I mean, I know some people that are into that, but not all of them run around looking like the Barkays.
No, yeah, some of them live their lives quite sensibly. Aside from thinking that they're the true Israelites.
I mean, it ain't my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my thing, but
me neither.
I don't bother with them.
Well, look at Artie Art. Artie Art says he's from the tribe of Judah, and he's not totally senseless.
And he doesn't blame the white man for everything, and that's what I usually see them doing.
Right.
Art doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I've never seen Art do that.
Me neither.
So there's good and bad in everything.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And we met some
shout out to Artie. So you said Art's got a show?
No, he doesn't have it. Well, I don't know if he has a show or not, but he's not on the network or anything. He just called in and somebody shouted him out in the super chats. But
I see.
But JLP spoke and debated this Elder Rashwa of the Black Hebrew Israelites in Vegas several years ago about the Black Hebrew Israelite thing, and those guys they believed in white supremacy, but they were sensible, kind, gracious, civilized. And so there's a lot of those guys who are halfway decent, like anybody else.
Personally myself, being black, I just never fell for that kind of stuff. If I seen somebody like they always have these little metaphors. They always, the white boy and white supremacy and white privilege, and not even really true. And they, I've just seen it so many times that some of your callers are younger than how many years ago I've seen that and didn't fall for it.
Yeah.
In other words, I've seen that in person. That, hey, man, this kid over here versus this kid, he just might be a better pitcher. He's not a pitcher because he's white. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've seen that
or
many years before some of your callers even knew this stuff existed. They're in their 40s. I knew this in junior high school that stuff is fake.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. And it makes you look bad, too. Every time you don't have your way in something, that you want to point out the race card every time.
Yeah.
It actually shows a sense of weakness.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. It shows that you're blind. You're caught up on the wrong issue.
You're hung up on the wrong thing.
Yep.
And you guys were talking about the civil rights and all of this 65 and Johnson and all of that stuff. Yeah, the civil rights. No, I know Joe from Phoenix. We don't agree, but me and Joe don't get disrespectful with each other. You know,
Yeah.
we respect each other. I like Joe.
Nice.
Joe was speaking about the civil rights versus the
Earlier
moral
this week.
poverty.
Yeah.
I think they're actually, Joe, I have to disagree. I think they're all connected, actually.
They are. That's why they're on the same page on the Library of Congress website.
Yeah.
And also the
Now,
so-called
Joe
gay rights
probably-
thing.
Well, Joe's probably around a little bit younger than me, or maybe same age. I don't know.
Yeah.
He would. I definitely know Joe would be the one to admit that in 1965, that when they had these civil rights movements, that was somebody else's battle, a lot older than me and Joe. Because that way, if Joe was the same age as me, he would know.
Yeah.
The 65 amendment with the civil rights. Hey, I was 5 years old. That's not my battle.
Right.
So anybody around 40, you're lying. And I heard you tell a caller, yeah, that was an issue back in the day, but not for me and you. I heard you say that.
Right.
And that caller had no reply. He
Yeah.
had no reply when you said that, because that's the truth.
Yep.
You're not. I'm not at 5 years old marching with Martin Luther King.
Right.
I ain't that old. I'm not 80.
Yep.
So that's why, there was a lady in New York yesterday. She was on YouTube, and she was a black lady, older, and she gave a lesson. She gave a history lesson, and she said something about black history. Hey, it's American history, actually, but you don't really have that much history because you got a late start. You were in slavery. So, she was like, 4,000 black people had slaves. So when you
Wow.
think about that number, there wasn't that many black people in America at the time. That's like a higher per capita than white slave owners.
Wow. Interesting. Good point.
4,000?
Is that true?
Yes, 4,000. This is supposed to be documented. 4,000, James.
Do you remember where you got that? Where you heard
I
it?
just heard this morning. I mean,
Okay.
I knew they had slaves, but I didn't know it was that many.
That's a
This woman
lot.
was breaking down some serious history. She was breaking it down.
Yeah.
I have to send it to you. She
Okay.
was breaking it down.
Cool,
she
man.
gave a serious history lesson. She said, yeah, what are you talking about? 4,000 blacks had slaves, and they treated their slaves worse than the white owners did.
Yeah. More
she was
harshly,
breaking it
anyway.
down. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I mean, so
That's what I
that
heard.
shoots your reparations. That means your reparations is shot to the curb again, and so is your Colonel West. All that old madness ain't happening because you got something that's going on right now that's called woke, and it's not going to last. It's getting ready to be ended.
Well,
so I'm out on that one, and I just wanted to throw that out there. I heard you the other night, and you kind of made me laugh when you was talking about your Black history. But see, the thing is, your Black history class that you took, you have never been to downtown Los Angeles and seen a department that said liberal arts and Black history department. You don't have that, so that's just a mute
it is.
course to take in college. It's ridiculous.
It really
you know,
is.
You get your Black history, you just go home.
Right.
Before the street lights come on, and you sit with your parents and grandparents, and they'll tell you about Black history. You don't have to take that up in college.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
It is. It is. Well, congratulations to everybody for having a beautiful day, because it is a nice day today.
Right on, man. Thank you, William in California. Take care, man.
All righty. Take
Bye.
care.
I am remiss in not getting to all the super chats. There was another couple of super chats that came in, I guess. Zuzu C. Sion bought Hake a coffee. One says, so Samson and Delilah, for some reason I call it Samson rather than Samson. I call it Samson. Maybe that's from Samsonite? I don't know. So Samson and Delilah are now really separated in love and war. Oh, yeah, because Samson was an Israelite. He was strong, like Hake, maybe even stronger. And he was dating a Philistine woman, musical Philistine, named Delilah, who kept on trying to get secrets out of him. What's the secret to your strength? Oh, if you tie me with ropes, these fresh ropes, then I cannot break them. And the Philistine males tied him up, and he busted them and knocked him on the head, bopped him on the head. No. And then he finally broke down and told the woman his secret. Oh, if you cut my hair. And sure enough, She cut his hair, and then he was weak. And then he gouged his eyes out. What? And he had to run around, walk around a mill, milling the stone or something like that, or I don't know. And then they propped him up because the Philistines hated the Israelites. Propped him up between the temple, I guess it's temple, pillars. And then he said, God, give me strength one more time that I might end this mess, because they were celebrating pagan stuff. So he like pushed the temple pillars and it all came crashing down on him and the Philistines, and it killed them. So that's the story of Samson. And now there is a Samson option that I heard about on X about Israel. You know how they're so hung up on not never again with the Holocaust thing? You know, as we're told in history from World War II or whatever, with the Holocaust, they don't want that to happen again. And so they say, oh, we have submarines, nuclear submarines around the world. And if we get gotten rid of, then our submarines, which are undetectable at great depths, dolphin submarines made by Germans, wow, gonna throw nuclear bombs into European capitals and tear down the pillars of the world. The Samson option. Whoa, I saw that from, I guess Keith Woods or somebody posted that. He said, does that sound like a ally to the West, to the European and America? No, not necessarily. That's crazy. We're going down. If we're going down, we're taking everybody down with us like Samson did. Crazy, the Samson option. But that would, of course, depend on those people who run those submarines to do it, to follow through with it. But evil stuff happening in the world. Hake when it comes to biblical stories. Well, I guess. I don't know. I told it pretty accurately, I say. So, Samson and Delilah. It's no crazy story. Imagine your eyes don't imagine, but I wouldn't want my eyes being gouged out, I don't think. Crazy. But apparently that happened. It's in the Bible, it's a fact. P.S. Zoom and look at my profile. Who's driving the tank on my coffee profile, she asks. Well, I zoomed in, and I'll drag it into the folder, I guess. Zuzu Sion. Let me see if I can drag this into the main folder, Hassan. Okay, so it's being copied over into the main folder. It's just called screenshot. It looks like a drawing of a tank with I guess that's supposed to be, is that Hake driving? And it's Delilah sitting all cute on the front of the tank. It's fire, says Wow Hassan. I disavow it. This is more suited for Hassan's show. Put on some clothes, woman. Cover up. I sympathize with the Muslims on this modesty thing. But anyway, thank you. Take that down. But thank you for the coffee and the support. Zuzu C. Sion. Appreciate it. Terrible. I think that's it for the supers. Let me check. John Zimmer bought 10 coffees. Nothing to read here. Move along. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Right on. Okay. Let me double check to see if there were any other Hake chat things. I think there were. Hake chat. What the heck? Yeah, okay, so Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong brings up about CNN wanting to pass along that parents are being warned that their children, that they should delete the social media apps or disable them temporarily on children's cell phones so that the children don't see these graphic images and videos that are on the internet. spreading around this Hamas-Israel war and some graphic things, you know? Terrible. Yeah, good point. All of a sudden, the CNN cares about the kids, what the kids are exposed to. They expose the children to all this degenerate false love stuff. Oh, it's normal, the LGBTIQ madness. And I get that that's maybe not as quite as disturbing and openly violent, or at least explicitly physically violent and killing, as physical murder and, butchering and horrific things that, the Muslims there in Hamas and maybe in ISIS and other places, they're raised up butchering animals as kids, and so they'll allegedly do it to people too. Well, ISIS pretty much for sure did it, because they did it on videos and had their awesome Muslim music to promote their stuff. Hamas, it sounds like, may be doing that too. I don't know. But that's what they're saying. And so there's a whole lot of mess going on in the world. And the social media, it's happening faster than the social media can censor it. And they're not even censoring it that much. People, if you're going to share that stuff, put like a content warning. If you are one of those people who shares these graphic things, put a content warning on it so that it blurs. A lot of these social media companies can blur it. That's what I suggest. Or if you're just the type of channel that puts out that stuff, then the other people, when you go on social media, be warned that there's going to be some graphic, horrific things happening in the world and on the social media visuals. Terrible. Reese Vids during Hake News said those same corporations that are awfully quiet about the Israel-Palestine war were quick to tweet and talk about BLM. Fair to ask them to condemn evil terrorists / Hamas, says Reese Vids. And that reminds me that there were lame people who were quick to kiss up to Black Lives Matter, right? Quick to kiss up to Black Lives Matter and maybe even Israel, Palestine, all that stuff. Let's see, BLM. Go to the other folder, Hassan. Let me show you guys this. BLM, kiss up, business. Man. I saw this from this one guy who's like a big social media influencer type of a guy. Real Petey B 123. He posted, so the BLM thingy aged well. I remember one of my employees at the time came into my office. Apparently he's an employer. And said, Pete, we have to put the dark square on our social media biz accounts. I said, absolutely not. If someone is making you do something so we don't get called racist, that won't end well and is inauthentic, he said. Tons of my friends' companies did it. So he has friends who have companies, and they did it. They put the black square. I don't remember the black square, but I remember as people kissed up to the fake idea of Black Lives Matter. Oh, yeah, they did post the black square. I remember I LOL'd at one of my friends, and he blocked me. He blocked my Hake report because I LOL'd at it. Because I was like, LOL, right after Georgia, Florida, as the once great second favorite caller Earl said, Georgia, Florida, after he overdosed and got himself killed or died or whatever. Under the knee, with his neck under the knee, underneath the knee, shoulder blade of that guy, that former officer, Chin Up King, former officer Derek Chauvin, Chin Up King. If you're listening to Hake, I don't know if you're allowed. We pray for you. We wish you well. Persecuted for being white and a cop and doing your job. And maybe being on there a little too long. I'm not sure. I don't know. It was so phony. I LOL'd at it. My friend who doesn't even like black people. He doesn't like cops either. Maybe he likes blacks for their music, but that's different from liking black people. I know a lot of Hispanics who play old school black music or black hip hop, and they hate the blacks. They're full of hatred for everybody. But anyway, this guy continues. Someone making you do something so we don't get called racist won't end well. It's inauthentic. Tons of my friends' companies did it, and when I would talk to the owners, they all felt pressured. I said, how weak of you, he said. By the way, we had an uptick of sales that day, and people would add notes on orders attached from our newsletter blast without a mention of BLM about how refreshing it was for a company to just concentrate on our product and not politics. Yeah. I remember I got this email from like evil Lyft. You know, Lyft, Uber's competitor, and Uber's evil too. But Lyft was like, oh, we stand against racism. Stupid. Makes me want to spit. In fact, I have my spittoon handy dandy from the real Mr. Mad 2. I spit at your fake kiss up to the fake idea of black victimhood. You don't love blacks. You don't love anybody. You hate whites. You are a commie capitalist. You're not Christian capitalists. You're phonies. 2. My father always said, says this Petey B guy, don't ever mix politics with business. I see tons of stuff these days that won't age well. Don't just follow the thing, the current thing. Oh, the Ukraine flags. Oh, LGBT. Oh, Je suis Charlie Hebdo. Remember? I am Malcolm X. I am Charlie Hebdo. You know, that Paris group of political cartoonist people or whatever edgy cartoonists who got shot up by the Muslims in Paris. Don't follow that. I've kind of gone the opposite extreme of following that trendy stuff. Anyway, back to the Hake chat. There were some Hake chat things that I wanted to address before I get back to calls. Bum, bum, bum. Right on, Reese Vids. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's ridiculous. The ADL. You can take that down. Thank you, Hassan. The evil ADL. I told you guys in Hake News. Let me read this rich quote from the evil ADL. ADL. Come on, not deadliest. Did you know that you can't spell deadliest without ADL? Okay, come on. ADL goes after corporate America for silence over the Israel-Hamas war. This is from Hake News. History will judge them, says Anti-Defamation League CEO Jonathan Greenblatt, slamming corporate America's lackluster response to the terror attacks on Israel. So-called terror attacks. I mean, I guess you could call it that. Acts of war on Israel, too. Pretty vicious to civilians. But hey, that's their rules. That's how they deem it to be fair game. Evil, huh? The ADL leader quoted Martin Luther King Jr. As he pleaded for more companies to speak out against the violence. Like these companies are, Hamas, you convinced me. Nike spoke out against us? Oh, you convinced me. Give me a break. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends, says probably evil, maybe an atheist, maybe a communist, lame-o, Martin Luther King Jr. Rest in peace. Whatever. Condemn evil terrorists and Hamas. I guess the ADL knows that people are followers. Some people are followers, so if these companies do, don't be evil, then these people will be intimidated into their fake support of Israel. Lame. War crime is a misnomer, says Stephen. The only thing that matters is who wins. It is an evil world. Yeah, I mean, and then they decide, or the propagandists decide what's a war crime or not. Corporate America likes BLM, who sided with Hamas. Yeah, that's true, Bill West. I don't know if Bill West is in my chat, but he was in the Hake News chat on the JLP show. Yeah, BLM, for years, they've sided, free Palestine. Because they side with that false victimhood stuff. Victimhood on many sides. As JLP said in church with Jesse Lee Peterson, you ever feel persecuted? Watch out for people who feel persecuted. Emotional people, they have a violent spirit. So watch yourself and watch the people. Rick in Hampton, Virginia is on the line. Rick, thanks for calling. What's up?
What's going on, Brother James?
Hey, not much.
Man, how the weather in L.A., man?
It's pretty cool. It is 72 out right now, high of 78 today, low of 58. Not too bad. I did bring my sweatshirt, my zipper sweatshirt, because it's below 60.
Yeah,
but it's nice.
Cool here. It's cloudy and 67 here in Bama.
Yeah.
So, I'm in Jesse Lee Peterson's hometown.
Stay close to your phone. You're coming in a touch quiet, man.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? How it is now?
That's sounding better. Appreciate that.
Good. Yeah, I'm in JLP's home state, Alabama.
Beautiful Alabama.
Yes, sir. Well, probably one of the fewest conservative states in the South.
Nice. Right on.
And thank God for the politicians. They've been fighting all that transgender, so they want to put in the defense bill. So thank God for them that's standing up
Okay.
in Alabama. And
Good.
what I want to talk about, I went to. You ever heard of Prager University?
Yeah, PragerU. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
From Dennis Prager. Dennis Prager's a friend to JLP, and he's written some of the forwards in JLP's books.
Man, I tell you, they have some good information. I was looking at what's going on. They were saying what's going on in with Israel and Hamas.
Oh, okay.
And man, they get some valuable information. Man, it was about 50 minutes. But it was worth of 50 minutes of powerful information to bring
right on.
Understanding
Yeah.
to what's going on in the Middle East. Because Israel has gave them everything they asked for, and they still be trying to destroy them.
That's what JLP says. Yeah.
I mean, they gave them everything. They gave them land for peace, and they still should. I mean, I guess they don't even want the land to be named Israel. I guess they want the name and all gone.
Wow. There's I hear alternative facts about the situation. I've heard that, and I'm sure that there's a lot of truth to it, that, I've heard stories of Israeli soldiers or somebody wearing T-shirts that say 1 shot, 2 kills. And it's like this horrific scene or it's kind of a horrific bad joke of shooting pregnant Palestinian women. So I'm sure that there's a lot of malice and evil on many sides, So I wouldn't doubt that there's wrongdoing from Israel towards the Palestinians or from Israelis towards the Palestinians, because there's evil that infects the hearts of everybody. And they're not it's not like most of them are Christians. So they have no
Right, I agree with that.
Yeah. So but I'm sure that there is some truth told or factual information from that video too. Thank you, man.
I can say too, every time Israel struck back, they was hit first.
Oh, really? Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
Every time Israel strikes back, when Israel strikes, Hamas hit them first.
Yeah, maybe so, probably.
In most cases, I can say that. But
I don't think. What do you think about Congress not having a Speaker of the House so they can't make some resolution to support Israel or whatever?
Well, you got to have some leadership and some accountability. So until they get a house, that's like the military, man. We can't. When we was in the military, if our department head leave, we can't go nowhere until we get one.
I personally love that they don't have a leader, because they shouldn't have a leader. They're not leaders, and they're divided because the country is divided. So it reflects what the country wants. The country is at a standstill because we have a tug of war on where the country should go. So I like that Congress can't do anything right now. I personally love it. I don't care.
Me too.
We all know that America, most of Americans probably, or many of them, love Israel and they wish them well, or at least they outwardly pretend they love Israel, and that's that. Israel can defend themselves without America meddling. Maybe
that's right. They have whooped up all the Arab nations. I mean, not saying they're not no kind people as Arabs, but when they try and gang them on Israel, Israel's probably no bigger than New Jersey. Whoop them all up, all the country.
Yeah,
and that's amazing. I mean, I think too. To me, we should support them financially because if all the Arab nations gang up against Israel, I mean, Israel needs some kind of help. You can't depend on the United Nations.
Right. True.
So I think we should fund it. If all the Arab nations get together and want to gang up on Israel, I think the U.S. should, because I'm telling you, when we fund Israel, they create technology that we use it.
Right.
Like cell phones come from Israel.
Oh, really? I've heard something like that.
Yeah. Cell phones, some of the things with our laptops come from Israel.
Man.
Go ahead.
It's a mess. I don't know what I was going to say.
It's like I'm staying back, but then I just want to know what's going on. I know I truly believe it. Israel gives Hamas everything they ask for. They get more land, they still shoot rockets out.
Well, that's why you shouldn't appease people. Appeasement is not the solution. We need men of authority in charge, and then we won't have these crazy wars or at least it'll diminish the amount of these crazy wars. Like Trump in office, Trump said, and I agree with him, that had he been I think I agree with him. I don't know exactly how, but had he been in office, Hamas wouldn't have done this. It's because of Biden. It's under Biden that they do this because Biden is weak and lame and a kiss up and a joke of a president and a violent person himself. He's a violent person. He's an evil, violent, malicious, nasty, white-hating person, Christian-hating person. He's just a malicious liar. And Trump is a man of strength, peace, love. He tries to he speaks the truth as he sees it, and he gets along with these allegedly vicious leaders like Putin and Kim Jong-un and the China Xi Jinping, and I think Iran too. I think he might have had the respect of Iran, and these others. And he had them under control. He was getting ISIS. He decimated ISIS, whereas ISIS went out of control under Obama, and now Hamas may be going out of control under Biden. We'll see what happens.
Man, you know how loud Biden be talking when he's debating, talking all loud? You would think he's sort of tough, man, but he's just a soft man, weak, don't have no economic policy. Nothing, man.
True.
And the only thing, I mean, I'd be asking liberals, what? I mean, give me a reason to vote for Biden. They came and give. We don't even have to even talk about it. All they do is gaslight and talk about Trump. I said, Trump gone, man. He's gone, man. I mean, you guys should know what kind of policies this guy be. You guys are so disappointed at him. Y'all don't even have to even talk about it.
Yeah. What a mess.
Yes, it is, and we'll just see what's going to happen in Israel, because Israel, they're going to mess around and win against Hamas. Watch and see.
Yeah, well, that's all we can do is watch and see and wish everyone well and not fight amongst ourselves. Thank you, Rick in Hampton, Virginia. Take care, man. Or actually in Alabama.
Yeah, quick question real quick. I ain't heard from May.
May's from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio. She called in relatively recently, maybe in the last couple of weeks or 3 weeks, but I'm sure we'll hear from her. Just let a black person talk about the blacks or a white person talk about the blacks, and she'll call in. She'll be like, y'all need to pay attention to y'all selves. Y'all doing the same thing.
Yeah, that sounds just, I mean.
You CWPs.
Yeah, you usually call in. Sometimes when I call, she'll call right after me, man.
True.
And that was me.
It's because you're ill and uninformed, Rick. Take care, man.
And you two, and two more people before I let you go, James. Art and William. I like hearing them two brothers too.
Nice. Cool.
All right, love y'all. Be good.
You too. Rick in Hampton, Virginia. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. Let's listen to Clucking Theodore by Mary Rice Hopkins. Adios, America. I'll check for the super chats, and we'll, if any that I missed, we'll read tomorrow. But catch American Anchor Baby in a little bit more than an hour. And catch Wow Hassan if you are strong of heart and spirit. Probably not for children. Probably right, not right, Hassan? Yeah, not for children. And Joel Friday TV, JessieLeePeterson.com/show, #network. Adios, America. Clucking Theodore by Mary Rice Hopkins. Let's listen to some children's music. Bye.
Every morning at 3:45.
Oh, yeah.
I'd look out my window and there was Theodore. He was sitting there clucking, keeping real good time. I think my mom was losing her mind.
Mother losing her mind. Why, Hake? So good.
Well, Theodore was loads of fun to have around. I put a leash on him and he followed me to town. No other chicken could cluck quite like him. He'd come up for some air and then he'd start again.
No monkey song today? I'm offended. So fun. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert.
Came up with a fantastic plan to charge people to hear him and open up a stand. People would drive miles to hear him at the door. Now my mom never complains anymore.
Hey, Mama doesn't complain anymore. Money coming in. Milk and push-ups, Hake. I know, I gotta work on that. Spoiler alert, thank you for the tips, man. I saw those. Appreciate the heads up. Adios, America. Peace in the Middle East. Or at least peace in your heart, hopefully. Bye.